Forgot to bring myself up. Welcome to Wednesday Night Coffee with Kollecting Kaos, and I don't have my coffee again. What is going on here? I'm going to go get my coffee in just a few minutes. But I have a pretty full show tonight. I've got a stack of comics that I've pressed. I've got a stack of things that for my Lost and Found segment. I've got a stack of comics that I just got this past week. Oh, man. And I have some things to sell. In addition, I kind of want to finish this, do the back side of it, but we'll see. That's if we have time, maybe I'll do that. There's no set time limit for this show. I just go until I stop. Now, sometime tomorrow, I will be releasing a new video about a Detective Comic 441 and what I did to get it into a shape to put in my collection. Michael, good to see you. Glad you could stop in. So, yeah, let's get started with more than usual. These are comics that I've pressed over the last week. There was a few days that I was up late, so I did a fourth comic instead of just three. Matter of fact, almost every day last week I did 4 instead of 3, it seems like. But here we go. We're going to start out with Tarzan of the Apes. This is from June of 1969. Not sure what number it is, but it turned out really nice. I'm really pleased with that. Then I've got, then of course, most of these are going in my collection. Daredevil 45. Been wanting to get that one for my collection for a long time, and now I have it. I really want the first 100 Daredevil. Anything after that is a plus as far as I'm concerned. Then Tarzan, another Tarzan of the Apes. This one is January. It looks like January August of 1969. It's hard to read black print on a dark yeah. And here's a Lois Lane number 50. This one I had to do some work to, and it's still got some bad spots in it, but I like the way it turned out. I have 2 or 3 copies of this. It's actually number 53. I have to go through and figure out which one is the best copy that I'll keep in my collection. The rest of them I'll let go. Here's Archie's Pal Jughead number 102. Pressed it. It came out decent. I believe this one had a spine, but I don't remember. Don't always remember what I did to things. Here's Scamp. I think this is number 2. I know it's from February of 1971. Here's Justice Society Returns, Thrilling Comics number 1. It had a little bit of spine stress on it. I pressed it. It turned out nice. I'm happy with that. That one I have several copies of, so that one will go up for sale. Here's Superman's Girlfriend number 57. Got a piece missing out of the corner, but overall it's not too bad. I'd put it at about a 3.0, but that's good enough for my collection. Is that John Sable Freelance number 20? This one I pressed because I had it sitting crossways on a box and ended up putting something on top of it, and it just kind of got crunched. Jocelyn, glad you could stop in. Kenneth, glad you stopped by. Next up, Angel Love number 5, and this one is a hard one for me to find. I'm trying to get the whole run, and they're just difficult to find for some reason. It's an Action 658. Don't remember if I have this or not. I'll have to check my collection.
That's all I can say. Thank you.
Let me shut that down. There's a L Ford #1. This is the color one. I've decided to go ahead and keep these. So I've been pressing them because they're going to go back in my collection. And L Ford #1, the first one, this one was in black and white. Just here browsing. Glad you could stop in. Batman 328. This one is going in my collection. Batman is one of those comics that it runs into my fingers and stops. If I have more than one copy of something, I let it go. But in general, I keep them if I don't have them. And that's true with most DC comics. Now here's Marvel Premiere #35, featuring the 3D man. It does have some spine stress, but it's nice and flat now, and it turned out pretty nice. This is a $5 book. That's what I want for it. It is the first appearance of 3D Man. It is by Jack Kirby. It is a newsstand, of course, because it is from 1977. So newsstands were much more prevalent than the other ones. So I'll be offering this for $5 for anybody that wants it. Tonight, or the next time I'm on Roy's channel, whatever. This is DC Comics Presents #2, the Whitman variant. Did not have a Whitman variant for that. Very happy to get it. So now all I need is the... actually, I think I have all three of them. There's a newsstand, a direct, and a Whitman, and I think I have them all now. There's an American Flag #24. I've been just pressing these when I need something quick to press, so I can put them in my collection. Everything that goes into my collection from now on is going to get pressed, unless it's a new comic. New comics I don't like to press. Superman's Girlfriend and Lois Lane #49. A lot of spine stress and creases, but other than that, it really looks nice. I would put this one at a very good. There's Archie 302. That came out of my Archie collection and going back into my Archie collection. Hell's Maiden Demon Blood. This one was a gift to me from Patrick Murphy, so I will be keeping it because when people give me things, I generally keep them. This is Detective Comics 464. Now, I sold this one to Mr. U, or Mr. Unknown Comics guy, but I decided to press it because I didn't like the way it looked. So that goes over in his stack since he already bought it, or he already paid for it. I'll just stick it there for right now. Superman's Girlfriend, Lois Lane #64. This one is a pretty nice copy. I would put that probably in a fine condition. Again, it's going into my collection. Here's Lois Lane #50. This one I have 2 or 3 copies of too. Again, I have to find out which one is the best copy, and that's the one I'll keep. American Flag #7. Same thing with this. I grabbed it out of the box just so I could put it in my collection. Lois Lane #51. I have another copy of this that I'm currently working on conserving. Unfortunately, the cover is in bad shape on that one. I opened it up, and it just, when I pulled it out of the bag and board, I just went, whoa. Not an acid smell, moldy smell. So I had to work on every single page. Moldy smell is gone. I'm got the last page being pressed, cold pressed right now, so I can reassemble the comic. Unfortunately, the cover deteriorated quite a bit while I was Yeah, I left it in the bath too long. Here's Superman's Girlfriend, Lois Lane, number 55. This one is definitely going in my collection. I didn't have a copy of it. It turned out really nice. So that was what I pressed this week. Quite a bit, actually. Now, aside from having that video coming out within the next day or so, probably tomorrow I'll drop it because it's going to take a while to upload. It's like 25 minutes long, but it takes everything I did to that comic. It takes it from start to finish. Start to what needs to be finished for the most part, and then I show the end result at the end of it. But that'll be coming out tomorrow, and that's a Detective Comics number 441, Conservation. So that ought to be fun. I enjoy doing that video. I might do another some more like that, but maybe not as long, or maybe break them into several different sections. In addition to that, I'm going to start a new channel, a second channel, that's nothing but sales. In other words, I won't be selling anything on this channel anymore after that. It'll all be on the second channel. Haven't started it yet. I'll let you know when I do. So, do we want to do, let's do Lost and Found. And then I'll take a break and show you some stuff that's for sale that you can buy tonight if you want. And then after that, I'll show you what I got new this week. So I'll do my Lost and Found first. Now, Lost and Found are things that I know I've got. I just didn't know where they were, or things that I forgot that I had, as in the case of this first one. I didn't know I had Tomb of Dracula #1 in the magazine. I am keeping it, by the way, so don't even try. But it's not in the best shape in the world, but I'm happy to have a copy. So that's one that I didn't know I had. Now, this one I knew I had, but I think I've got two of them. So I have to look and try to find the other one. And that's Howard the Duck #1. And this one needs a press. It needs to have the spine roll removed. But other than that, it's real good. Now, this next one I knew I had, but I forgot something that was very important about it. You see, this is Hulk #10 with a beautiful Val Merrick cover, and I forgot that I had him sign it. That's Val Merrick's signature down at the bottom. So, yeah, I'm keeping this in case you didn't know. I love Val Merrick's artwork, and this is just fabulous as far as I'm concerned. I found some of these. I have more, but I decided to show these to you anyway. This is part of my Vampirilla collection. I don't have them all. Don't even have close to having them all. I have 3 or 4 more somewhere, but I haven't found them yet. And there's Vampirilla #40. I had no idea where these were. I picked something up and there they were. I went, oh, cool. #51. #55. And this actually has a color Vampirilla story in it. Now, I don't know if that's the first time she appears in color on the inside of the magazine or not. I'll have to do some research on that, but it's a nice one to have. Then I have #60. #65. #69. #72. And none of these Vampirillas are for sale. If I ever end up with a duplicate, I'll offer it for sale, but yeah. #84. and number 86, and number 110. A few more items here. These are all magazine size. I have a Marvel swimsuit special. And if you'd like to get this, that's a Tim and Greg Hildebrandt cover, by the way. If you'd like to get this from me, you can. I don't know how much they go for, but I'll say $5. If anybody wants it for $5, I will sell it tonight for $5. These next two, I want to sell them. I have no idea what they're worth. I don't want to sell them until I know what they're worth. But I have the Spider-Man magazine number 1, free Marvel cards inside every issue. I guess that's every issue of number 1, because when it came to number 2, there were no cards inside. Again, that's I plan on selling these two. I just don't know how much they're going to go for yet. You can make an offer on them. The worst I can say is no. This is the premiere issue, in other words, number 1 of Clueless comic magazine. It's full magazine size. This is another one I have no idea what it sells for, so I'm going to hold off on selling it. I will offer it up for sale at some point. I just don't know what it's worth right now. And I don't want to sell it for like $5 and find out it's worth 50. So stranger things have happened. There's a couple of Valiant comics at 9.8s. They go for thousands of dollars. Who knew? Then I have Sin Watch. This is the first issue. This one does go for about $10. But if you want to get one tonight, if you want to get this one tonight, $8 will be fine. If I announce a price on it, that means I'm willing to part with it. So I kind of eased right into that thing. This is Virtua Fighter number 2. Or no, this is number 1. It's a second print. That's where I got the new number 2 from. But it's Virtua Fighter number 1, second print, considered kind of rare. I don't know why. They've got a lot of them on eBay, but they list them for about $20. So if somebody wants to give me $15 for it, I'll take it. This is in really nice condition. I don't see any real flaws in it on it. It's a really nice copy. Then I have Visionaries number 1. This goes for about $8. And I have number 2. So if you want both, I'll go. And this one goes for about $3. So number 2 does. So if you want both of them, $9 would be fine. And the rest of these, I don't care what they're worth. I'm going to say $1 a piece on the rest of these. If anybody wants any of these, $1 a piece. We have Ultimate Thor number 2. Ultimate X-Men number 20. I think those two are like $5 books. I don't know. Ultimate Secret number 1. Really like this cover, but I don't want to collect the comics, so I'm going to let it go. Ultimate Spider-Man 84. Free Comic Book Day, Ultimate X-Men number 1. Gotcha, Jocelyn. Ultimate X-Men number 4. Number 17. Just a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 more Ultimate X-Men. They are number 64, 60, 49, 48, 45, and 17. Do you want them all, Jocelyn? Okay. Now I figure that'll make it a little easier. I have the Ultimates number 8. I think this is the second series. Matter of fact, I'm 99% sure this is from the second series because I have the Ultimates number 8, and this is from the first series. So, and they're different on the inside, so I figured that one's second. And then I have the Ultimates number 10. Patrick, how you doing? Glad to see you. Ultimate Spider-Man Marvel Spotlight on Brian Michael Bendis and Mark Bagley. Fuck. Not really a comic. Ultimates 3, number 2. Ultimates 2, number 6. Ultimates 2, number 4. And Ultimates 2, number 5. Got a few more things to show. I think Jocelyn's going to shoot me. I have Star Trek Dwellers in the Crucible. I had this up on eBay for $3. I've had it up there for a while. If you, I'll let it go for $2 if anybody wants to give me $2 for it. Yeah. Now's when she's going to shoot me. I have some micro machines here. This one is, let me take them out of this bag here. This is Star Trek, the movies. And I was looking to get $10 each on these on eBay. But if somebody wants all of them, I will give them a special price. This is Deep Space Nine. And this one is Next Generation, and it has the Borg cube. That was $24. That'd be $2 off on each one, $8 a piece. So I was asking $10 each, so I'll do all of them for $24. I appreciate it. I have a few more items to sell. Not many, just a few. These are also $1 each. No matter what they're worth, I don't care. We've got Adventures of Superman 500. This is the one that was in the white poly bag. Well, I would have offered them on Friday, this coming Friday night, but I'm not going to be on this Friday night, so. And then we've got Transfers #1. Said these are $1 each. Yeah, I figure you'll shoot me for it later. Hey, I'm not going to charge you additional shipping on any of this because you already have stuff that you paid for and you already paid shipping on that. I don't charge additional shipping when somebody's already paid shipping. Got Green Lantern Corps number 215. And it's a newsstand copy. Not that that means anything. Green Lantern, Green Arrow, number 110. Essential Vertigo, Sandman Orpheus. This was Sandman. This reprints Sandman number 32. Green Lantern Emerald Dawn 2, number 1. Oh, no, number 3. Avengers No Road Home, number 9. Legacy number is 716. Here's number 10. Legacy number on that was 717. Got True Believer, Avengers. The only good alien is a dead alien. And it has the real Captain Marvel, or Captain Marvel. Here's a copy of Superman number 275. Nick Cardy on the cover. It's worth about $5 in this condition. It does has the piece missing out of it up here from 1974, but you know, I'll let it go for $1 tonight. And from IDW, this is Kill Shakespeare, The Tide of Blood, number 1, cover A. And that's what I have. Well, I have one more that I'll offer this up to. This is from Dark Horse Comics, and it's a it's like a pulp or digest size magazine, and it's Nathan Never. It's a pretty good story. This is number 1. I read number 1 thinking I'm going to get 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and I never got the other 5. So, but it's a pretty good story, and it does have. It's black and white. Yeah, I'll let that go for $1 also. So that's what I had for sale tonight. I wanted to get that done and over with. Like I said, I will be starting a second channel that's dedicated to selling, and not just for me. I might invite other people on. Yeah, he was. You're right, Michael. He was. And the comics I'm about to show you are ones that I got this week. I got them from Michael Mayrind, and I got them from Shane from Secret Collectibles. And I got a little stack of comics here from the two of them. So that might take a little while to go through. I may at some point decide to sell some of these. As of right now, I plan on keeping all of them, but that could change depending on if I already have copies of stuff, or if it's something I just really don't. And some of them have notes on here that show me that I need to work on. Thank you, Michael. We have a little dot, number 133. And Dennis the Menace, number 120. I think I actually have a copy of this. So either this one or the other one will probably go up for sale. This is Life with Archie, but I don't know what number because he covered that up. So it's a Life with Archie comic, but he said cover is not attached. That's his way of telling me I need to reattach the cover. And then that's Freddie and Veronica, number 116. I might have a copy of that already also. So we'll find out when I check them against my my list. Here's Betty and Veronica, number 189. And number 270, Pep, number 276. Pep Comics was, of course, the first thing that Archie Andrews ever appeared in. Pep number 285. This is from 1975. And number 375. We have Archie Giant series number 81. Now it says little Archie, but if you read the indicia, it'll say Archie Giant series. So, yeah. Stuff like that gets confusing. Actually, this one might actually say little Archie. So, on these older Archie comics, you got to read the indicia. And the indicia is where they give the name and the number and the publication date, and all that other neat information. Betty and Me, number 73. And Little Archie, number 170. Jughead, 267. And 264. Betty and Me, number 111. And Laugh, number 235. Richie Rich Zillions. Richie Rich is one of those comics that don't really collect it. But when I get them, I generally hang on to it. And I don't know why. I have probably 100 of them from various titles. Hamster Vice number 3, was very happy to get that. I've been trying to complete that run since the 90s. And Gorilla Groundhog. I had never seen this before. Really happy to get that just because I've never seen it before. We've got Sad Sack number 249 and Sad Sack Army Life number 59. Sad Sack's another one of those that I don't go looking for them, but when I get them, I hang on to them. There's a Brothers of the Spear from December of 1972, I believe. And the Jungle Trends from April of 1972. Brothers of the Spear first appeared in the 50s in an issue of Tarzan as a backup story when it was in the Dell series. There's Mighty Samson from, looks like August of 1968. And Dark Shadows from February of 1975. Now, a lot of people say, how do you know the dates on these? Just by looking. Well, I look at the covers. First clue, 25 cents. So I know it's sometime in the 70s. Then you look up here at this last number. This is 502. The last two digits are the month, and the first digit is the last digit of the year. Since this is from the 70s, that'd be 1975. On this one, it's 12 cents. So it hadn't gone up to 15 cents yet. So it's from the late 60s, well, mid to late 60s. And this one happens to be August. So that's August of 1968. And that's how I know the dates on those. There's Fighting Army number 95 from Charlton Comics. And Fighting Marines number 105. Based on the pricing, I'd say these are from the 70s. It's a Dell comic, Tom and Jerry Comics. It doesn't have a number. It doesn't have anything on it. So Dell is sometimes difficult to date. There's a way to do it. It's 10 cents, so it's probably pre-1962. The coloration of the Dell stamp and the way it's done, this will tell you the actual date, but I don't know what those all are yet. I need to go through and figure it out. Thank you, Deuce. Glad you could stop by. And then we have a Tweety and Sylvester from May of 1967. There's a Woody Woodpecker from October 1968. Again, 12 cents. So I know it's 12 cents. So I know it's sometime in after 1963, before about 1970. And this is Woody Woodpecker from March of 1971. 15 cents. So it's in the 70s, early 70s. Classics Illustrated Junior, number 563. This is one of the few that I didn't have. This is really difficult to tell as to whether it's a first print, second print, third print, whatever, because they all have the same numbers. And the only way you can tell is by opening it up and looking at the inside. And on Classics Illustrated Junior, what you have to look for, this is a first print, by the way, because the first print will have what's coming next on the inside front page. And the second print and later don't have that. So this needs a little work, but I'm very happy to get it because it is a first print. So that's how you tell what printing it is. And the date that's on the inside would be the correct date for this one. This is another Classics Illustrated Junior, the Japanese Lantern, another one that I do not have, or I did not have. And let's open it up. And you see this one is not a first print because it has a connect the dots on the inside, which is too bad, but that's okay. I don't mind. I just want one of each of the. With these, I don't care if they're first prints or not. I just want one of each. With the regular Classics Illustrated, eventually I would like to have all first prints. And I think the rest of these are ones that I got from Shane. Booster Gold, number 9. Most likely going to keep that. It's from 1986. Detective Comics 621. Probably going to keep that one too. I don't think I have it. An Art Charm Fantastic Four, number 1. I'll keep this for a little while. I don't know how long. Gotham by Gaslight, number 1. A Batman Gotham by Gaslight, number 1. Love that cover. I'm going to have to get all of those. Superboy, number 193. I might have this, but I don't think I do. A really ratty, nasty-looking copy of Brave and the Bold, number 110. Don't know if I have it or not. I have a lot of Brave and the Bold, so I might. Batman Family, number 4. Now, unlike the Superman family, which took over from Jimmy Olsen, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, which became the Superman family, Batman Family started with number 1. And we have Blackest Night, Secret 6. This is Blackest Night 18, or Secret 6 18. Don't know if I have that or not. This is the NAM 22. I do collect the NAM. Don't know if I have this. If I do have it, I don't know if I have it in a newsstand. And I'm one of those people that like to get both if I can. Immortal Hulk, number 1. Might keep it, might not. I don't know. Marauders, number 4. Don't really care about this. This is newer X titles. I read a couple of them. I didn't care for them. Excalibur 75. I think I have 3 or 4 copies of this running around. But this is direct market. So maybe that'll go up for sale. I don't know. Yeah, Wildcat's a cool character. I like him too. Blood of the Demon, number 6. I do not have that in my collection. I do now. American Legends, number 1. That looks kind of neat. I might have to check that out. Epic Comics, Heavy Hitters, Dragon Lines. It's a Marvel comic, so I don't care about it one way or the other. Devilers, number 1. Is it? No, number 6. Riot Gear Unleashed, number 4. I had no idea this went at least 4 issues. I have the first one. I might have the second one, but I know I have the first one. So that's kind of neat to get. Their idea was the collector's universe. They made 25,000 copies of each one. And each one is individually numbered. Of course, there's only a couple of numbers. This is number 4,380. But to me, when you're doing numbered things, there's 2 important numbers. If there's 25,000 copies, the important ones are number 1 and number 25,000. And everything else is just something in between. We have Black Adam, Atom Smasher, number 1. Didn't have a copy of that. Grifter number 1. I don't know if I have that or not. Probably do. Blood of the Demon number 2. And another comic that I really don't care that much about, Gargoyles action figure variant. Might put that on eBay. I don't know. So that's what I got this week. A lot of comics. I didn't go to the thrift store like I planned on it because I paid bills instead. It's like they send me a bill every month for things like electricity and water. I paid it last month. Why do you want me to pay it again? So like I said earlier, there will be a new channel dedicated to selling. I won't be selling anymore on this channel. This channel will be entertainment basically, and enjoying yourself and enjoying the company of the chat and putting out information and entertainment, and we'll go from there. See if we can't have some fun. And like I said, I will invite different people to be on the selling show once I get it off the ground. Do I want to clean this? I do want to, but I don't think I'm going to do that tonight. I don't think I'm going to work on the back side of this tonight. I will work on this tomorrow and, take pictures or do it on camera so see what I do, and clean the back of it so that's ready and get it ready to go into the press, and I will put that on camera and I will release that this weekend. It's been nice here in Texas. It's been 65, 70 degrees every day. I don't know, 15, 20,000. I need to go get my coffee. Yes, I found my coffee last Wednesday night. It was right where I left it. This time it's still in the coffee pot. I forgot to pour a cup before I came on. So I guess I'll end up drinking my coffee afterwards. Or I tell you what, look at the background. Look back there, see what you can find. Chat amongst yourselves a little bit, and I will go get some coffee. I'll be right back. Don't go away. And of course, I put the chair in such a way that you couldn't see what's in the background anyway. So, coffee. The poster on the wall is a Black Lightning promo poster. And I'd like to get $5 for this one. Yeah, everybody needs coffee. But yeah, that's Black Lightning, and like I said, I'd like to get $5 for that one. So, a pretty good poster, and it is from the 90s. And this is one of those funny kind of mugs. So many channels, so little time. For me, it's 4,000 channels and nothing's on. So anybody have any questions or have a topic we can talk about tonight? I will happily answer whatever I can. Or if you're interested in anything in the background, I can pull it down and show it to you. No, I haven't created it yet. As soon as I have it, I will make sure that I post it. I will not only post it here in the chat, but I will also put a link in the description of all my videos that I post. Somebody bought all of my Ghost Rider, except for some newer ones that I've picked up over the last couple of months. But somebody bought all my older Ghost Riders. Oh, wait, that was you. No, I haven't gotten any more. It's kind of sorry to see those go, but hey. I've discovered I really can't collect everything. And wanting to get, having, I have a massive DC Comics collection. It's currently 45 or 50 short boxes and a couple of long boxes that I haven't put in with the short boxes yet. In addition to that, I have 5 boxes of Archie comics, short boxes. I have, I think, 12 or 14 Dell Gold Key Whitman, or their Western publishing. The ones I sold to Deuce were mostly from the 70s. As I'm going through my stuff, I'll keep an eye open. If I have more, I'll let them go. I'm not going to collect Ghost Rider, not at all. And that's why I decided to go ahead and give it up. Have a lot of Doctor Strange too, but yeah, I'm not ready to get rid of those yet. I'm toying with the idea of collecting Doctor Strange. And the interesting part about that was the Green Hornet is a descendant of the Lone Ranger, according to the canon. That's all right. That's what I'm here for. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and let me know what they are. I can answer a lot of questions off the top of my head, and the ones I can't answer off the top of my head, I can look up and find fairly easily. Yeah, Green Hornet had a great one, the Flight of the Bumblebee. I might have some doubles of Alpha Flight. I do collect Alpha Flight. I have a lot of them. West Coast Avengers, I think I might have some. I'll keep you. I'll let you know if I do. I'll keep you in mind. I'm thinking on maybe letting some of my Harvey comics go. Maybe letting some of my Fawcett's go. Really, the only Dennis the Menace I want are the ones published by Pines. Pines is kind of an obscure little comic company. Yeah, I will. I will. Yeah, I bring stuff out once in a while. I'm probably going to sell off my X-Men before too long. And I might even sell off the Wolverine comics that I've been accumulating over the last 30 years. I don't have the first 4 anymore. I might have like 3 and 4, but I don't have number 1 and 2. I know that. And then for the actual Wolverine, the ongoing run, I probably have the first 100, 150 issues. I don't know. But I never collected Wolverine. That's just accumulated. So I might be missing a few. DC Comics. Superman for sure. Batman for sure. Well, no, not Batman. Superman for sure. Anything with Supergirl, Superman, anything with Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Justice League, those for sure. Tarzan, I collect Tarzan, both the Dell and Gold Key, and the DC that I don't have. What DC books? All of them. When I get a DC comic or a Vertigo comic or any of their subtitles, which includes Wildstorm, if I don't have it in my collection, I keep it. So yeah, pretty much everything. Showcase, Brave and the Bold, like I said, Action Comics, Superman, Adventures of Superman, Wonder Woman. I'm thinking I'll keep, Preacher. I have the full run of Preacher. I have the full run of Animal Man. I have most of Hellblazer. Well, most of the first 200 issues of Hellblazer. Don't have hardly any after number 200. But I'll get him eventually. I still need a lot of Swamp Thing. So I'm just all over every part of DC. I prefer the pre-1984 DC, going back to the beginning. I think the oldest DC comic I have is like, I don't know, it's an early Superman from the 40s. Of course, I've got that one that I've been working on off and on, trying to print out on newsprint what I need to fill in the pieces that are missing. And that's a real pain, really difficult to do. But that's a really early Superman. And then the earliest one that I know I have is like Superman 45 from the 40s. 45 or 46, something like that. And then I've got a lot of comics from the 50s and 60s. Not a lot of keys. I used to have them. Don't anymore. Back in the late 60s, early 70s, I had almost every DC comic from about 1950 on. And I had, in the 70s, I had every Marvel comic, with the exception of like 2 or 3 that was published after 1960. Which means I had Fantastic Four #1. I had Amazing Fantasy 15. I had Daredevil 1. I had the Iron Man or Tales of Suspense 39. I had Journey into Mystery 83. I had all of them. And I sold them all. Yes, I have handled Action Comics #1 half a dozen times during my lifetime. But I have never seen, seen as in I could reach out and touch, if they would let me, a copy of Superman #1. Never, ever seen it. I have copies of the reprints, but I've never actually seen a copy. On the other hand, Action Comics #1 I've seen a bunch of times. And I've had it in my hands and considered buying it 3 or 4 times. Never pulled the trigger, and I regretted. That's one of my few regrets. Stop pulling the trigger. Gee. The first time I saw Action Comics #1, I didn't know what I was looking at. I was about 6, maybe 7 years old, and this guy showed me his comic collection. Basically, he had comics stacked wall to ceiling, and he said, "I just got this one," and he showed me this comic. Went, wow, that's really cool, because it had Superman. And that was my favorite Superman. Thrown over a car, and I just thought that was the greatest in the world. I didn't realize for many, many years what the significance of what he was showing me was. He was showing me Action Comics #1. That was the first time I ever saw Action Comics #1. It's around 1962, maybe 1963. Then in 1971, I was visiting a friend of mine, and they had just come on I'll get to that. But they just come on TV and said there were 7 known copies of Action Comics #1. There were only 7 known in existence. And I'm talking to this guy about it. He said, "Yeah, that's a crap." I said, "Are you sure? I mean, he's been on national television and said this. It's got to be true." He says, "Well, let's see. This person has a copy. This person has a copy." And he's naming famous people that I've heard of. This person has a copy. This person has a copy. And he got to got to 9. And then he said, "And here's my 2." Because he had a coverless copy and a copy with a cover. Yeah. So that was 11 that I'd seen right then. And then about a year and a half later, I was looking at a copy, and the guy wanted a lot of money for it. It was like $125, $130. Had the money in my pocket. Had more than enough to buy it in my pocket. I had a very successful day at a convention. Seriously considering it, and I decided, nope, I'm not going to do it. So I didn't buy it. Flash forward a bunch of years later, I get another chance to buy a copy for about $400. I passed it up because at that time, even though I had the money, I was pretty stingy, and I didn't really want to spend it. No, this was back in the 70s that I had all of those. I didn't have my store until the 90s. So I'm at a convention it was a WonderCon convention when it was up in the Bay Area, in California, in the Bay Area, up by San Francisco. And I'm looking at it. The guy wants like $7,000 or $8,000 for it. And I said, "Well, let me go home and talk to my wife about it." And I knew, no, he wanted more than that. I had passed up a copy at I passed up a copy at $1,000 a few years before that. This copy was like 10 grand. And I knew I'd end up having to take a second mortgage on my house to buy it. 10 or 100. I'm going to say it was 10. It might have been 100. And it was enough that I knew I'd have to get a second mortgage on my house. So I thought, let me go talk to my wife. And on the way home, I talked myself out of it. So I never mentioned it to my wife. And we were sitting here in Texas. So this is like 12 years later. She said, is there anything that you regret not buying? I said, yeah, I had the chance to buy Action Comics #1 after we got married. But I would have had to take a second mortgage on the house because it was really expensive. And she looked at me just as plain as could be. And she said, you should have done it. Yeah. Made me feel about this big. And it wasn't that I should have done it so I could turn around and sell it for like $1 million now. It was, you should have done it so you would have a copy. That was her point. Yeah. So I've had a chance to buy it, probably half a dozen times. And I ended up passing it up every time. And now, of course, it's out of my price range unless I win the lotto or Publishers Clearinghouse or some other crap like that. And, they've got very strict rules on winning the lottery. You have to pay. You have to actually pay for a ticket to win. And I just think that is so unfair. Yeah, I think she's a keeper. That's why I've been married to her for all these years. But yeah, she's always supported anything I wanted to do. She used to help me run the store. She didn't like it, but she helped me. Matter of fact, she made one of the best comic buys ever. We decided, okay, we've got too much inventory. We're not buying anything else. And about a week later, I go into the store and there's 9 long boxes of comic books on the floor. And I'm looking at him going, oh. So I looked at her and I said, what did you do? She said, I bought some comics. I said, you bought 9 boxes of comics? And I'm thinking, she paid like way too much money for them. She said, yeah, the guy was desperate and he didn't want to get rid of them. So, so I had to know. I said, how much did you pay? She went, $10 a box. And I went, what? What? She said, $10 a box. He sold them for $10 a box because he needed to get rid of them and he needed the money. I said, okay. I pulled out a near mint copy of Amazing Spider-Man 129. That was one of the first things I pulled out. I pulled out X-Men starting with like number 98 and going up to like 140. Just all kinds of beautiful Bronze Age comics. I have very few of them left. Yeah, I kind of understand what you mean. This is only a drop in the bucket that you see behind me. I'm always on the lookout for, because the thing about buying things and collecting things is the time to buy it is when you see it. And yeah, she did. And I've always done it that way. I mean, if I see something that I think I can either turn quickly or is going to be worth more down the road, buy it. And that's gotten me in trouble once in a while. Another story with my wife. We were in a thrift store. We were in a, it might have been a Goodwill. It might have just been a generic thrift store. I don't know which. But I always went through the bags of toys. And she said, "You're not buying anymore." And I had one in my hand. And I said, "Just one more?" And she said, "No." And I said, "Just one more, and I'll make a deal with you. If I don't make money within 7 days of this, if I don't make 10 times what I'm paying for it, I'll never buy another one." So she agreed, and I paid 50 cents for it. And we got to the store, and I put it on the counter, and I set it off to the side, and I didn't worry about it. And she looked at me every day. She's looking at that bag, wondering when I'm going to open it. And it was the 6th day, and I kept telling her, "It's not time yet. It's not time yet. I'll open it when it's time. It's not time yet." So she went, "One day left, then you cannot buy anymore." And I went, "It's not time yet." And I looked out in the parking lot, and I saw somebody I knew. And I said, "It's time." And I dumped it out, and I'm going through them, and I'm sorting them around. And I'm not really doing anything. I'm just moving them around. The guy walked in, he went, "What do you have there?" And I went, "Well, it looks like Amigo Cornelius from Planet of the Apes. What are you going to do with it?" He said, "Maybe I'll offer it up for sale." He said, "I'll give you $50 right now." So I said, "Sold. Pay my wife." She was so mad. After he left, she looked over at me and said, "You knew." I said, "You knew what?" She said, "You knew that was in there and that he would buy it." I said, "Yeah, that's why I wanted to buy it." She never argued about it anymore. And you know what? For probably the next 25 years, I never bought another one. I buy them now because I find stuff that I'll find 1 or 2 items that I can flip on eBay at $10, $15 for, and so I'll buy a bag for $1 or $2, make $10 or $15 off of it, and the rest of it goes in a bucket. And yeah, I think I'm just going to put a whole bunch of them together and put them up at auction on eBay for cheap. Start it at $1 and just let it go for whatever it sells for, plus shipping. So yeah, but that's, again, the time to buy it is when you see it. And there was no guarantee that guy would have even come in that week. I was gambling that he would come in. If he hadn't have come in that week, I still would have sold it. I still would have made money, but I wouldn't have been allowed to buy them anymore. This way, I was still allowed to buy them. I just didn't, because you have to see something in there that's worth buying. And I had a basket by the register full of the little plastic army men and baseball players and all kinds of stuff like that. And it's like a nickel a piece, 10 cents a piece, or something like that. I paid like a penny and a half a piece for these things. Bought them in bulk. Bought them by the 100. Would just dump them in there, and people would take one of those instead of getting their change. They'd be supposed to get 25 cents back, and they'd take 5 figures instead. Just a way to make money that people don't think about, and it worked for me. I used to sell jacks in the off season and marbles, because people would, they'd go to the grocery store and they'd try to buy marbles, but they only sold them in the summertime. They wouldn't sell them the rest of the year. And I'd only put them out after the grocery store took them off their shelf. That's when I would put mine out. So I was picking up all the sales from the rest of the year, and they only sold them during the summer. I'd sell them fall, winter, and spring. As soon as they started putting them back out, I had somebody that worked at the grocery store. He'd say, "Hey, we got marbles in," and say, "Okay," and I take them down. But I used to go through 4 or 5 gross of bags of marbles a year. So little things like that people don't think about. Who goes to a comic book store to get marbles? I sold a lot of them. It's an interesting way to do business, I think. And we had little penny candies and the bazooka bubble gum. I'd buy that. I have a case. There's like 144 pieces in a case, and I just dump them in a little thing, and nickel a piece, and people would buy them. Kids come after school and they'd buy a handful of them for like 25 cents, and that's fine. So I would probably still have the store if the landlord hadn't gotten greedy and doubled my rent. But and I've always wanted to open another store, but there's no way I would do it unless I owned the building. I'd have to own the property in the building, or I would not do it, because it's just not worth it. I mean, all of your profits is going to pay the rent, and that's not any way to do business. Yeah. So let you know when I decide to get rid of my 70s Marvel horror books. Yeah. That probably is not going to happen. I did finally finish my Tomb of Dracula collection. They were crazy back then. I mean, I was paying $1,400 a month. And it went up to $3,000. I had a horror book. Kill Shakespeare, The Tide of Blood. I think that's a pretty horrible book. Yeah, I know what you want, Deuce. If I have any in here. You want stuff like that. If you want that, Deuce, I'll just put it in a slot for you, and whenever I make another invoice for you, I'll bill you $1 for it. Of course, that could be 3 months from now. You never know. Because that's what I offered it for. It was $1. Yeah, I know you like DC and horror, Marvel horror. Don't you buy some of the Charlton horror as well? Ghostly Haunts and Mini Ghost of Dr. Graves, stuff like that. I have some other stuff too, but I don't know right off the top of my head where it is. And it's a little more expensive. Oh, where is it? So one of these boxes I have down here, and there he is. Glad you could join us. Let's see if I can find it. So I had this one. I think you've patched that up a couple of times. Or you might not have ever seen those two, because I don't show them all the time. I've got that. That's Vampire Bites. And then I've got Max Immortal, Rick Vetch. and Dead World. Those are what I have close at hand. If you're interested in any of them, let me know. Generally, I was asking $10 a piece for them, but I might be willing to make a deal for all of them. If you want all three of them, and like I said, I was asking $10 a piece, but if you want all three of them, I'll make you the same deal I made Jocelyn on those micro machines, $24 for all three. And I was only asking $10 for them, $10 a piece for them. This one is kind of neat. It's got a nice back cover too. All right, I'll get you out an invoice quicker. So, see, ask. That's all you got to do is ask. You never know what I'm going to have handy. I'll probably throw something in. I think I might have a promo poster that you might like. I'll look after the show. I'll look and see if I can find it, or sometime tomorrow I'll see if I can find it. I'll probably invoice that. I'll just go ahead and invoice it on Saturday. That makes it easier. So, drink a little more coffee. Yeah, I'll invoice those for you on Saturday or Sunday. If I go fishing, it'll be Sunday. If I don't go fishing, it'll be Saturday. I don't know why I'm going fishing. I don't catch anything. Interesting story about a game warden that came up to me. Whatever's biting, generally. I was going to try fishing for white bass this year, but it wasn't cold. It didn't stay cold long enough. It got nice and cold, and I was ready to go out when it started to warm up just a little tiny bit. Only thing is, it didn't warm up just a tiny bit. It went from being in the 30s to being in the 60s. So I've kind of missed those out. Not as much as I used to be. I used to go fishing every chance I got. Now, if I go fishing once or twice a month, I'm doing good. And mostly I fish for things that I can put on the stove. So I like to eat fish. So I like fresh fish. So I like to catch them and cook them and eat them. Fish with some rice and a little soy sauce. It's good stuff. Like I said, if I catch them, fine. If I don't, that's fine too. I just don't fish like I used to. I rarely go anywhere anymore. I used to be. I was on the road all the time. I was always going one place or the other. But once COVID hit and everybody was pretty much grounded, except for, of course, I had to go to work every day. It turns out I didn't have to go to work every day, but I did go to work every day. And the reason I didn't have to, they didn't tell me until after it was almost over. One of the managers said, "I don't understand why you worked every day." I said, "Because it was my job." And she went, "No, you were over 60. You could have taken a year off." Now they told me that after the fact. But yeah, I went to work every day during COVID. And then I had to sit at home and couldn't. They closed down all the fishing places. I couldn't even go out to go fishing. Nothing now. I'm what you call retired. But I did work for Walmart. I was I was a department manager until they got rid of all the department managers, and then they put me back in automotive as a service writer because I had a history of knowing how to do that. And once they put me back there, I knew I was done. I wasn't going to get promoted again. I wasn't even going to find out when any positions were open again. So I was getting tired of it. I was going, this isn't worth sticking around for 2 more years to get that lifetime discount card. It's just not worth it. And I was leaning towards that, but I was hanging in there anyway, thinking it's only 2 more years. I can do it. And then 2 people out in the 2 of the techs that worked out in the shop came down with COVID, and they didn't even send them home. They tested positive for COVID and they let them work. And that's the day I put in my retirement papers. I just said, nope, not going to do this anymore. But there's no retirement really. I drew out my 401k last year, so of course they took a chunk of taxes out on that. But that's okay because I'll get most of that back. Because last year's sales weren't that good. But I still own, I owned like 94 shares of Walmart stock, and then it split, but it did a 2-for-1 split. So I ended up with 3 times as many shares as what I had. And now it's almost back up to where it was. I mean, it's been steadily going up. So I'm doing pretty good on that end. Michael, glad you could stop in. So yeah, this is what I do now is I talk to my computer to a bunch of people that I've never actually met, but that I consider friends or customers and make videos and try to sell stuff and do eBay. And that's what I do now. Yeah. Now I have to figure out what I have to do what I need to do is transfer that from the Walmart app to a regular stock, a regular person that handles stock, so that if anything happens to me, it can go to a member of my family. Because if it remains in Walmart, within the Walmart app, yeah, I keep earning interest on it and it keeps getting worth more. But if something happens to me, Walmart gets the stock back. Then I don't want that to happen. I want it to go to my kids or grandkids, whichever. But yeah, I went from having like $3,000 or $4,000 in stock to having a little over $12,000 in a very short amount of time, and didn't buy any more. It just happened. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I need to get a broker and then explain what it is and what the problem is, and they'll be able to fix it for me, I'm sure. So I'd like to get one that I can go in and talk to face to face. I don't really want it. I don't really want somebody that I have to call on the phone, or I have to go through the internet for. I'd rather have somebody I can talk to face and get that stuff done. Yeah, you've always snatched up slabs at cheap prices. Here's the thing about that. Slabs keep going down in price. A lot of them do. People are dumping slabs, and what they're dumping is anything below a 9. They're just dumping. They're just trying to get rid of it. And anything older that could be, I mean, if it was cleaned and pressed, it probably would have got a higher grade. But, they didn't know that at the time. And there's not as many people just buying up stuff and just slabbing everything like they used to, because, of course, CGC's prices keep going up. CBCS's prices are getting ready to go up. or no, they already have gone up. And even though we're getting more people or more companies into the game, it's just not done. I have a few slabs. I bought some slabs off of Michael Angry Otter. I bought some slabs from him, and I cracked them because they were old Supermans that I wanted, so I cracked them. The price I paid for them was about the going rate for the comics raw, so yeah, why not? I don't need my comics slab. I have a few that I'd like to have slabbed, but in the most part, no. What got me was the people that told me, once you get a comic slab, once you have a slabbed comic, that's all you're ever going to want. So I bought one. Was not impressed. Thought it would make a good sandwich tray. Generally, yeah. But I refuse to go to Whatnot, and that's where a lot of those are selling so cheaply at, is on Whatnot. And I will not, any place that insists that I give them my phone number, I'm sorry. No, you don't need my phone number. Let me do it all online but no, you can't. You can't buy it. Well, I don't know. You might be able to now, but it used to be you could not buy on Whatnot unless you gave them your phone number. You couldn't even put in a bid without giving them your phone number. And I don't like that idea. CBCS is a better company overall. Their grading is more accurate, in my opinion, and their slabs are better. Their topper isn't pretty, and that's been the big complaint. If you're buying a slab because of the topper, I'm sorry, what's wrong with you? Yeah, definitely I definitely like their slabs better. If I get comics graded, and I have thought about getting a couple graded that I'm thinking about selling, because they're $100, $200, $300 comics. And I'm thinking about getting them graded just so I can get the most amount of money for them. Not to keep, to sell. And that's what the purpose of grading comics is, so they can be sold. It's nothing to do with being better for the comic, because it isn't. They've taken comics that have been in slabs for 10, 15 years, older comics that were not in the best shape in the world in the first place, that got slabbed to protect them, and somebody bought it, took it out, and the comic just fell apart. Because the comic continues to deteriorate inside of that slab. But yeah, CBCS, the grading is more accurate. District. No, but I'm going to check it out. Let me write a note to myself to check it out. Yeah. The thing about cracking and pressing a comic is the hardest part is if it has those little spine ticks. Those are hard to get out. I'm working on 2 now that are just giving me fits. I'm doing them for Mr. Unknown Comics guy. I've got 2 comics of his that they're, well, I'll show them to you, but they're giving me a fit. I'm going to be working on them again tomorrow. this one, which has a very small spine crease right there where my finger is, right there, that I cannot get to come out. I'll get it out, and then while it's being pressed, it comes back. It keeps reverting on me. And the other one is, there's two here. Now these two break color, but I should be able to get the dent out of them, and the dents just keep coming back. So I'm going to try that one more time. I'll probably do these tomorrow. Do them one more time for him, and if they don't come out this time, I'm just going to send them back to him and tell him, I'm sorry, I did the best I could. I will definitely check it out. Yeah, there you go. Oh, Michael, you didn't see what I showed earlier. Michael's a Fantastic Four fan. That's Angry Otter, for those of you that don't know. What did I do with it? Oh. Founder or buyer? Yeah, I got that from Shane, Secrets Collectibles. Yes, it is. That is Art Germ. You are correct, sir. I saw that today for the first time, and it looks interesting. The part I like the best is the very end sequence that it shows, where you see that shadow, and then it pulls back, and you see part of a head. Yes, he's not a gas cloud this time. I'm talking about Galactus, of course. I may actually have to watch a Marvel movie for the first time in a theater since Howard the Duck. I had to go watch Howard the Duck in the theater, you know, when it first came out. Absolutely had to. Yeah, I like Art Germ. Yeah. If they stay true to the original Fantastic Four from the 60s, I'll be surprised, but somewhat pleased. I like Fantastic Four, but I don't collect it. And the reason I don't collect it is there are just too many key issues. You know, the first 100 books are basically key issues on Fantastic Four. And the other thing is, one of the two or three, or maybe four comics from Marvel that I never had from the 1960s era was Fantastic Four #4. Never owned a copy. Pisses me off. It was Fantastic Four. There was a Million model I didn't have, and I think it was either Rawhide Kid or Two Gun Kid. One of those two that I didn't have. Every other Marvel comic from 1960 to about 1976, when I sold them all, I had. . Cool. Oh, Avengers #4 was the one with Captain America. Fantastic Four #4. You're right. That's the first Doom. That one I never had. You're right. I was thinking of Avengers, which I don't know why. Avengers didn't come out for another 6 years. 4 years. 1961, Avengers. I think Avengers first came out in 1964. Yeah. Well, all of the first 100 issues of Fantastic Four are pretty high up there because, like I said, most of them are considered keys. I don't agree with that. Key issue Marvel Comics for me. Fantastic Four #1, Amazing Spider-Man #1, Amazing Fantasy 15, Journey into Mystery 83, Tales of Suspense #39, the first Hulk, Incredible Hulk #1, Daredevil #1, X-Men #1, Avengers #1. Those to me are key issues. All the rest of them, okay, they have first appearances in them. A first appearance doesn't necessarily make it a key issue. Yes, I will agree that Incredible Hulk 181 is a key comic because it's the Wolverine's first story. Notice I don't say first appearance, I say story. His first appearance was the last panel of Incredible Hulk 180. Yeah, #2 is cheaper. I just call them first appearances. I don't even call them minor keys. Now, DC Comics, on the other hand, had entire runs that were nothing but key issues. I mean, look at Showcase. Every single issue almost was a first appearance of a different character. And that's where they first showed up before they went to their own comic. Well, like I said, I don't even like calling them minor keys. They're just, to me, they're not key issues. If those are key issues, then Tarzan should have about 40 key issues, and it only has 3. Del Tarzan #1 they call a key issue. The first gold key Tarzan was a key issue, and the first DC Tarzan is a key issue. For that entire run, they don't mention the first appearance of Boy, who later becomes Korak. They don't mention the first Brothers of the Spear. They don't mention a whole bunch of them that are actually key issues in by anybody's standards, but to them, no. And for the longest time, the only key issue of Tarzan that was recognized by the Key Collector app was the first DC Tarzan by Joe Kubert. Yes, I am. It's Kollecting Kaos. Yeah, I'll put that. Let me put that little thing up, a little banner up if I can find it. They changed it to style. Oh wait, it was up. It was up. There it is. Kollecting Kaos on IG. That's also my. It's also what I use for Cash App and eBay. Use that for everything. I'm gonna have to make up a new name for the sales channel. Yeah, Marvel Premiere did it for a while. Marvel Spotlight did a little bit of that in the beginning, because the first one was Red Wolf, Marvel Spotlight on Red Wolf, and the second one was Werewolf by Night, and then I think number 5 was Ghost Rider. Was it number 5 was Ghost Rider? I don't remember. But it runs from the 70s that I'd like to get. I got Tomb of Dracula. I'd like to get Monster of Frankenstein. I've got Werewolf by Night. I've got all of those. So the only thing really I need is to get those early Marvel Spotlights. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I have all of the Werewolf by Nights. And yes, that does include the first appearance of Moon Knight. I've got, like I said, I've got all of Tomb of Dracula now. Yeah, I don't have a number 5, I don't think. I think I have 1, 3, 4, 6, something like that. I don't remember. I don't know if I have those on my list or not. I don't think I got that far into the Marvel comics that I own. I'm going to check my list real quick, and we'll see what I've got, if anything, listed under Marvel M. For a Marvel Spotlight, I have 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then skip to 17. So yeah, I guess I do have some old Ghost Riders, but they're in my Marvel Spotlight collection. So I ain't gonna get them. Yeah, that counts. That counts. Yeah, I don't have a lot of people. I don't give out. I'm not like everybody else. I don't just give everybody a wrench. A few people that I've known for a long time, like Angry Otter, Michael. I've known him for a while now. He has a wrench. Michael Mayron should have one, but he doesn't. I'm going to give him one eventually, if I remember. I can't do it from StreamYard, or I would, but and I don't want to open up the other one. I'll probably give out a couple of wrenches before too long, if I remember. Now, when I start my sales channel, I will have people that have. I will be giving out wrenches to different people. Yeah, I have it so that you can't post links, but I can post a link. There, I posted it. Yes. Being smurfed, yes. You know what they say, Smurfiness is next to godliness, right? This is one I have to try to get some spine stress out of this one too. There's one little ding, looks like a little tiny color break, but I'm going to put this one in my collection. I have one little ding here somewhere. It shows a little bit of white, but there's a little bit of spine stress I want to get out before I press it. I have to get around to doing that. I have no idea what that's worth. I don't care. I want it for my collection because it's got Daredevil in it. I like Daredevil. Daredevil's one of the few characters from the 60s that I actually collect. Yes. Yeah, I'm thinking about watching some of season 7 for Game of Thrones, just because I never bothered watching it. I mean, it came out 2 years after season 6. I gave up. But I recently got a copy of season 7, so I've decided I might as well watch it. Yeah, have a good night, Michael, and glad you stopped by. I think I'm going to call it a night as well. Maybe watch something or figure out something. Like I said, I'll send out some invoices. You know what? I might do that tomorrow if I have time. I have a bunch of stuff to do tomorrow, but I have time. I might go ahead and send the invoices out tomorrow for Jocelyn and for Deuce. And I'm going to see if I don't have something he might like. I know I've got stuff he likes, but whether I want to give it up is another story. Yeah. Yeah. What I'll do is, if I decide to send it out tomorrow, I'll make the payment due on Saturday. How's that? It's a matter of when. If I finish everything tomorrow that I plan on doing, I'll go ahead and send out the invoices. If I do, I'll make them payable on Saturday. Ah, okay. Yeah, I know of her. Crazy Lamp Lady, yeah. I started watching her originally doing metal detecting. Didn't find out till later that she was reselling. Deadpool is not a 4-year-old. No. Deadpool is got a lot of adult humor in it. So anyway, if you want to help me support the channel, you can always go down in the description, which I probably forgot to put it in there because I didn't remember to put this up until today. But later on, I'll have in the description the link to buy me a cup of coffee, and you can do that to help support the channel. I don't think I have it on this one, but if you look at any of my other videos, it'll be on there. And it'll be on here later tonight. So have yourself a great night. Have yourself a great week. And don't forget, check out that video I'm dropping tomorrow. I don't know exactly what time it'll drop because it's going to take about, I did it in high def, so it's going to take about 4 hours to upload. And it's only a 25-minute video. But yeah, check that out, and we'll see you next Wednesday. And I should have a link next Wednesday for the sales time. Meantime, have yourself a great week, and we'll see you next time. Bye.